Objective Alpha, and then the 172 gate at Battalion Objective 1. Walking through TCMs. So from our position south down Sneeds Ferry Road. However, the enemy's been able to penetrate. We're the main effort. No later than 1600 on 15 June. Golf Company seizes battalion objective.
The right. No,
Good one, take it! Take it! Out!
Bunker just showed up on the back burn.
On the back burn. Take it.
Hey, fire!
Out. Come on, push!
I put the whole thing up, let's go.
Where?
Starting to figure it out.
See those two buildings?
Yes, Kenny.
All right.
Team SB taking fire, 600.
Might want to talk to the machine gunners.
Hey, let's go.
Trying to get him up.
Hey!
Still painted heavy.
You're still under heavy!
Get more dispersed!
Rocket, pick up.
Break some fire, Paul.
Right and middle. Hitting both. CRP2! Got two! Get up! Up! Stand back, bunker! Go.
Alright, start hitting TRP1.
TRP4! TRP4 your target, TRP5! Get to the burn! Clear left! Clear right! Back blast down, secure! Rocket! Rocket! Good.
Well, all week we're in our Battalion Field Exercise right now. We conducted a defense first, rolled into patrol base operations, and now we're getting ready to do a live fire on Gulf 6 squad attacks. The purpose of a Battalion Field Exercise is for the whole battalion to be evaluated, not only as a full unit, but at the company level and then all the way down to the platoon, squad, fire team level to see how efficient we are at our jobs and to see if we're basically combat ready. Out of this training, junior Marines, more than anything, gain discipline. We're sleep deprived. It's 90 degrees out. We got a storm on the way. If anything, they're gaining discipline, but also gaining tactful awareness, teaching them light and noise discipline, how to move tactfully, how to pick up a move at the drop of a hat, no matter how long the distance may be, and basically just oiling the machine, as I like to say, for them to be better infantry Marines so that if the time does come where we're called into combat, they'll be ready and we'll be ready.
We're out here doing a battalion fix. The whole battalion's been shuffling in and out of here. We conducted a defense, patrol base operations. We're going in to SR6 or Gulf 6 for live fire, squad attack with machine guns, mortars, saltmen, everything we got. Oh, it's a number of reasons. I mean, we got to always stay on top of our training, top of our game, so we're combat ready at all times. You know, if we don't consistently come out here and push ourselves to get better, then we wouldn't be what we are as a Marine Corps. The junior Marines gain a lot. They haven't been exposed to as much of this heat, sleep deprivation, just, you know, non-stop going, whether it's patrolling, digging in the defense, constantly holding security. It's a non-stop process, and not a lot of them have been exposed to that through their training thus far.
So right now 2/8's in a Battalion FX environment where all of the companies are simultaneously operating in different areas. Right now, Echo Company, which I'm a part of, is operating on Gulf 6, conducting this squad attack range. So right now, the machine guns that are actively engaged, they're in our ORP, waiting for the maneuver element to get into their position, and machine guns will open up, lay down that immediate suppression so that the 11s can push out and do their attack on the range. The Battalion FX as a whole is an environment where every company gets to do the same thing in all the different training aspects of mount town, ranges, sitting in a defense, doing patrol base operations, and they all conduct these trainings in different times in different areas. So right now, Echo Company's on this range. Gulf Company is in the chute, is what we like to say, over in Gulf 5, doing their dry runs, preparing for their live run over here on Gulf 6 tomorrow. So since Echo Company hit the field on Sunday morning early, we got trucked out to our position, dropped off, and pushed into our defense, where the squads and the platoons set up in their fighting holes, in the doctrinal fighting holes, and did our defense for about a 24-hour stint, where then we picked up and made a movement down to a different LZ, different area, and did our patrol base operations. So that's where they set up a platoon little area where the platoon sets up and pushes out either recon, ambush, or contact patrols. So what those platoons are going to do, they're going to take those attachments of assaultmen and machine guns, and they're going to set up those ambushes. They're going to look for enemy. They're going to have their intel about what the enemy is doing in the area of operation, and they're going to try and either get the reconnaissance of the enemy, or they're going to make contact with them. So they do that. They come back in, debrief, refit, refuel, and they send a bit more patrols out. So up until that point, then we made movement over to Gulf 5 yesterday, where we conducted, as Echo Company, our dry runs, which prepared us for today for our live runs. Live runs is live fire, actual ammo, going down range, pulling the trigger, hitting the target. So for this one, it's only a squad attack, so you're only going to have 13 riflemen of your 11s pushing out of the maneuver element with a full squad of 7 machine gunners, three men on each gun, and then you're gonna have the squad leader. So their main job as the SBF, support by fire, is to support the maneuver element, putting the enemy's heads down so that they can get into their position to then close with and destroy the enemy on this field. So the whole purpose with Battalion FX is we just got back from our deployment in January, so now we need to start preparing for our next deployment. That's how the infantry works. We go on deployment, we come back, and we start working again for the next one, and it's a constant cycle. So this Battalion FX specifically is made for the cross-reference between the Marines that are just got here, the Marines that are sticking around for this next deployment, and they need to start that coagulation and that cooperation between each other so that they can then go on with the workup and be extremely 100% prepared for the deployment. So this Battalion FX is just the start of that process. So for the junior Marines, this is most of theirs first exposure to a field operation. I know a lot of my new guys in machine guns, this is definitely their first one, so it's kind of a kick in the shins where this is the real first time they're getting out here, having to carry the weight in all different areas, different terrains, heat. It's been hot out here all week, hasn't got a lick of rain, which is rare out here in Camp Lejeune. We say we have the 2.8 rain cloud over us at all times, so we're lucky it's stayed dry. But for them, it's to see that the different environments and the different ways that they operate is, like I touched earlier, you can find out about yourself that they can do these things when they're under all these different aspects of stress. So mainly for them, it's to get a learning experience for themselves on their own personal environment. So we're always doing stuff like this, even when we're out, even when we're not in the field. We're back in the rear. We're pulling guns. We're doing gun drills. We are patrolling, setting up IED lanes. We utilize the areas that we have. So our battalion 2.8 is over in Walls Creek. There's plenty of swamps, plenty of bridges, little paths. We utilize everything to our advantage. So just because you're not in the field, or just because you're not at a range actually pulling the trigger and seeing rounds go down range, that doesn't mean you can't fine-tune every last little aspect that we need to do. For guns specifically, we do a lot of hands-on finesse with the gun systems, using the tripods, manipulations on the T&Es, getting the elevation and the traverse down pat so that the guns, the gunners, and the team leaders are all working together, and they know exactly what they need to do when we finally get out here on these live ranges. So it's important for the Marines and the Marine Corps as a whole to be ready to go to combat at any point, because we never know what the world is going to be doing. Next week we could get called and we could get sent to any place, any climbing place, and be ready to go. So keeping these finesse, these small tactics, small leadership, and all the way up to the battalion level, we need to be ready to go do that. And doing stuff like this helps us stay ready so that when we do get the call, we know exactly what we're doing from the battalion level all the way down to that one fire team, gun team. Because the smallest level will help the biggest chain, or link on the chain rather.